Oh yeah.
Oh, someone's there in the background.
Yeah. Oh, I cracked my neck, but I think you mean Kaylin coughing. Yeah. She does have one hell of a cough when she does.
Rona.
The coop, is it?
That's right. The Rona.
She got the Rona.
Man.
That's because it's from China.
Sure. Why not?
The Twitches, that kind of thing.
There we
Because I'm trying to think of like the voice of like, little Timmy that's like, oh no, my mom's dying of coal lung or whatever. Like the fucking Victorian era. I'm
Oh
trying to do
yeah,
that
coal
voice,
lung.
but-
Yeah.
Cyclical at all.
I
around.
just
New name, new appearance.
what's his name though? Tiny Tim. Oh no, no, that's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Oliver Twist. Sorry. Like that kind of a voice. Just please, sir. My mom's dying of coal lung.
Yeah.
Fuck off!
She's got the Rona, sir.
Speaking of a bunch of underpaid workers, under the man and in a biological hazard situation, welcome back to our crew.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of a hazard, little bit.
Welcome to die.
Only if you roll really badly.
Like
Only if
I
you're
Oh
like
my God,
Reginald, who had to roll
origami.
33 dice.
That was like,
We've all been rolling terribly, honestly.
it's true,
Mm-hmm.
except for me.
Oh,
You're the DM, you don't count.
Dude, this isn't
Hey,
even
Baro,
like.
why don't you trust roll 20? Gestures vaguely at this game.
It's weird too, because like I can't even fudge online. Like, not that I would ever fudge. The problem is like, as
So I
a
definitely
DM,
got 15 successes. You'll just have to trust me.
dude, even as a DM, if you ever fudge, like even once, you can never admit to it. Because
I mean, in my opinion, you should only fudge in the favor of the story being better. You should never fudge to fuck the players.
I
over.
100% agree. Yeah,
Unless they deserve it.
you only ever fudge if it's like one of those things where it's like, I kind of don't know what to do if this sort of doesn't work. Like, you know what I mean? Or it's like if somebody comes up with like a really cool thing and you're like, that's amazing. I would love for that to work. But then really you shouldn't be rolling in a lot of those situations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a problem because sometimes it's exciting to roll dice. But,
Shiny math rocks make click clack.
yeah. And that's like the benefit of dice too, because if you just do straight role play, there's kind of no excitement, like nothing fun. Again, not really fun, but like you lose out on a lot of opportunities. But anyway, so we're all here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's start
Wait.
with.
Is Fox here?
Yes.
All right, you're quiet. So
I always assume
wanted
that
to double
she's
check.
here and I shouldn't, but it's because like if I say is everyone here, Fox will never say yes unless you say Fox specifically. Are you here? Because she doesn't want to talk when we're talking. Okay, so let's start with a bit of a recap because Rudy missed last session, and I'm sure a lot of people, it fades over time. You're not like me and thinking about it at the back of your mind. So, Boro, do you want to do a little recap?
Recap of the clusterfuck that was last week.
Yeah, it was a little interesting, wasn't it? Well, I guess actually we should have Origami recap his part. He had a pretty big part. So we'll start. How do we do this? Okay, Bard, you start by explaining everything that happened at the command station, which was, the sort of immediate bit, and then Origami will tell his story, and then you can continue with Miller's tirade. Which I think
Justified tirade.
Well, I'm the DM, I'm impartial. I want you all to win.
Right, so at the start of last week's session, for anybody that somehow doesn't remember, there was something in the vents next to us. That something turned out to be a face hugger that wasn't a face hugger, kind of face hugger that had a mouth and teeth. Yes, and it's not a tumor, definitely.
It's a vor face hugger.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Our Chad there stabbed it, twice? Whatever, and is now dead. He gave the corpse to Mr. Dr. Science Man, and Mr. Dr. Science Man has the decision to make on what he did with that, where he went. Ada said that she doesn't recall this creature specifically, but it seemed familiar to her because it was similar to the descriptions of creatures on Draconis 26. So she didn't see this one exactly. The one she did see was a lot larger than that one, though. And then after that, the motion tracker had a second target on it that disappeared from us. That's because they went out the airlock. And then it's Oregano's problem.
Now, see, my character was decked out on lots of medication, but she managed to notice that person who is coming through the umbilical cord from the big ship. That's not one of our guys. So she went, decided this something ain't right. Gonna call in, figure this stuff out. So she called in, and she was hearing stuff on the radio, and all of a sudden she hears uh the airlock opening up because mother allowed whoever it is to enter. Shit's going down. So she managed to, I think, run, hide, and like a Rambo try to shoot, but she missed. But she
And then
did
I shot again, and I missed.
exactly.
And then I reloaded, and then I meleeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It turns out
And then
this
I got
person.
tired, took a nap on the floor because I was bleeding out.
Yes. It turns out this person was trying to overload the engines to make it go boom. My character again tried melee, and just as I was about to melee, lights turned off. Thanks to Borrow. Here you go.
Yes, the lights turned off because after Cham and I came back over to our ship, we got the lovely warning that the reactor was going to melt down in whatever it was, 3-5 minutes. So to buy a little bit of time, shut down everything. And then get the hell down to the reactor. And then we go back to Oregano.
So while we're I missed what? Oh my god, my brain's everywhere. So I was gonna hit whoever this person was. Finds out it's Super Grandma. Super Grandma then in turn misses with a wrench, and then in turn I miss hitting Grandma. Overall, we're just flinging in the dark. I got fling to the side of the rail, to the rails. Grandma was about to stomp my fingers to death, so I could plummet to my death. Not having that, decide screw that. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and hold on to her boot. Fell multiple times until my last chance. I made it. That's when Borrowed and Dino, and I think no, it wasn't Self's character.
No, it was
Was it
just us two. Zell came
Yeah.
later.
And I'm gonna give it to you, Borrow. Show us the shenanigans that happened.
So after we got there and we saw the cocainum take over, and Regina finally got back on the scaffolding, then the Cham tried to shove her, and she didn't care. I lit her the fuck up, and she didn't care. She got fucking stabbed, and still wasn't quite dead, but got thrown over the railing. So, okay, we'll deal with that later. As we found out, she used the Cronus Company Liaison's card to activate something called Special Order 966. And that's also how she got into the Montero somehow. I don't know why the same order opens an airlock as it does overloads a reactor, but it does. I don't know. I'm not Weyland-Yutani. They're stupid.
Accurate.
So,
Of course, that was
after
said
that,
off the record.
yes, off the record, out of character. But pause the recording real quick. After that, Miller went over and talked with Mother. What the fuck is 966? It's classified biological containment. Where'd it come from? Weyland-Yutani. What's its purpose? Quarantining biological contaminants. What's the override code? Denied. Let's go get Mother's control key. What's the 966 override code? Denied. Destruction of Montero, priority 1. Contains biological contaminants. Tried to bullshit Mother and say, no, it doesn't. She said, well, the Cronus is classified as a non-threat because it's not in working order and it can't leave. The Montero can leave, so it needs to be quarantined. Yet again, how does quarantine mean blow up my goddamn ship? I don't know. I'm not Weyland-Yutani. They're stupid. But eventually, through the coercion of threatening to fucking kill her, Mother agreed to not blow up the ship and put the reactor back to standard operation. Cham went down and talked to Super Grandma and then killed Super Grandma because fuck Super Grandma.
He was a threat, man.
Exactly. As Zelphus and I were joking about earlier, back and forth, stuff like the arthritis assassin.
The rheumatoid wrecker.
she was too powerful.
The archaic annihilator.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. So we sorry. Continue.
Yeah. And then there was just a big long conversation between Miller and Wilson about who the fuck, what the fuck, where the fuck, why the fuck, and when the fuck.
Yeah, Miller and Wilson had a very peaceful, diplomatic exchange of words.
Wow.
For
Miller
us,
had
it was
a
diplomatic.
M41 pulse rifle.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, one has a pistol that has .3 rounds. The other one has a pulse rifle.
Yeah.
Diplomatic. Peace is carrying the bigger stick.
That's right.
Okay, Wilson.
And so
Woodrow variety.
sorry. And so we resume. So we're actually going to do two scenes with just we're going to have Rudy first and then Fox. And before and during this, so Rudy's scene is going to come first. And then we're going to have the interim period where the crew who's on board the Montero now is going to do a small bit. You can sort of just decide what you're doing, where you're headed. And then we'll do Fox's little part. So Rudy, you are Dr. Biologist Scientist Man. Albert Johns, Dr. Johns, as most people would probably refer to. You have a bunch of biological samples in a bag. These sort of tennis ball blueberry-esque orbs. You're not sure what they are yet, and you're hoping to study them at some point. You've just now not really survived, but been present in a room where a combat was. A tumorous crab-esque creature has jumped out of a vent, has been killed, and you've now been given that and sort of, hey, you handle these things. You do science. You do you.
Science man, tell me what is.
That's right. And everyone else is sort of split up with the exception of you're left in the command room. It's still devastated, right? It's still crackling with electricity. It's been partially patched up, but it's not a great sight. You still have emergency lighting in this room. It's on for the rest of the station, but this room is a bit of a shitter. There's maybe a little siren in the background going, "Wah, wah, wah." And you're sat there. You have a duffel bag full of blueberries and fist-sized blueberries, I believe, or tennis ball size, either way. And you've got this carcass of an unknown biological creature thing. And to you, in your mind, discovery of a lifetime. You know, this is the kind of thing where you could take anything you learned about this and go back home, and you could be on the news every day for years. What do you do?
Yeah, I'd stay on the not borrowed ship, the other one,
Okay, so
and use their lab.
okay, I like that. So you're gonna make your way over to. I mean, everyone here has seen the ship layout. You all have the maps. In the alien universe, unfortunately, we don't just have like a Palm Pilot or nowadays, like, you know, like your Apple Watch or whatever that has a GPS on it. Everything's very analog. So you've seen the maps. Being, like, I would say, a fairly intelligent character, you probably have been on a few ships and like know a generic ship layout. And having seen the map, like, it's very easy for you to remember. I know where the science lab would be, or I know where it is according to the map. And you would know in this ship there are 2 science labs. There's 1 and 2. Which do you head for?
The second one.
The second one? Okay. Drop you in science lab 2. You come up and you notice immediately scorch marks around the frame of the door. As you hit the button to open it, goes meow, meow. You try it again, it goes meow, meow, and you're like, oh, maybe it needs my card. So you swipe your ID card, and it says, you know, specialist detected or some such thing like that on the key card. The door opens up, and well, that joke would be a little too hot for Twitch, so we won't make it. But this is a charred shell of a room, basically inside what looks like it was being used as like a blast furnace or something.
If Anakin on Mustafar was a room.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair one. Yeah,
On this room.
yeah. You have come down from the high ground, and this room is not good. There was
heresy in that room.
Yeah,
Was.
there is a massive drum or a vat type device, like a large barrel, that is just burnt to rat shit. It's probably sustained like some melting at this point, but everything else in the room has just like completely either become inoperable or unusable or unrecognizable due to the extreme amount of heat that was sustained here for a while. Looking around you. Now you have your full hazmat suit still on, right? You're still spacesuit. You're still oxygenated.
Yep.
Okay. So you're not really picking up anything. You don't have any sensors on you apart from you have your motion tracker handy, and
You got the good old Mark 1 eyeball.
the beep. Yeah, that's right. So you're looking around, and you maybe see buried in some of this rubble what looks to be a body or pieces of a body.
Let's examine it.
All right, give me an observation roll, or as a scientist, you have a second option. may give me a, what's that one called? A medical aid roll. Entirely up to you how you want to handle that. Whether you're taking it like a forensic approach or you're just sort of being a little more cautious, a little more cursory.
I just clicked medical aid, right?
Yes, that's correct.
It didn't do anything.
Oh, sorry.
It should have popped up a little
Yeah.
thing that tells you modifiers, and then you just say 0.
Nah, nothing's popping up.
All right, so sorry, this is going to make it pop up for everyone. But if you're looking at this sheet here and you click on the medical aid button and then click submit, nothing happens.
The problems of having 2 screens.
Went to the other screen.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
behind the Chrome.
Oh, that, yeah, I can see that.
It just works.
Oh my god, how many did I open?
Oh, shit.
How many angry times did you press
Just
it?
roll until you succeed.
That's what origami did. Push it. No, don't push it again.
Now,
Didn't Origami have to push that twice and still
Yeah.
almost died?
Yeah.
yes.
33 dice for 1 success.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
And now my
Alright.
character is in a drug coma.
So you can actually go ahead and give me or give yourself a point of panic here. Rudy. So you're gonna stress, but you're gonna head and click your stress button. Which will add it to 2. And then click panic. And just roll a quick panic. We'll see how cool under pressure Dr. Johns is.
think
Sorry, I'm
he's-
trying to reopen the character page and it's just not working.
Oh, okay. Maybe if I get out of it, it'll make it.
Roughly, do you check PMs?
I will, thank you.
Yeah, it's just giving me a white screen.
Oh, okay. Can you click character sheet from that? Or is it just purely a white screen?
Like, I click on my character's name.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Now it works.
Awesome.
And then you said click which one? No, it's panic.
Click your stress up to level 2.
Yeah.
And then click panic, yep. Perfect. 7, I think you're just a little shook, if I remember correctly.
Nervous twitch. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range view increase by 1.
Okay, so you increase your stress one more time, as this is a little bit jarring. So the average human, if they had to come in here, seen this body, dear God, what horror! You know what I mean? Someone has burnt a body in an absolutely awful way, but such is life. You know, maybe wouldn't have been quite as terrifying, but you, as you pull what's left of the carcass out, tell it's not quite human. In fact, it's similar enough to being human that it scares you. But there's quite a few differences. First off, it's much larger. This body, had it been full and not sort of like broken into pieces and incinerated, would have stood about 7 foot, 7'2".
Slightly taller than Sham.
Yeah, just a little though. The forearms are also elongated, and there seem to be the finger bones after the first knuckle. It almost turns into a talon. The only other sort of real discerning characteristic is the collarbone has risen up, sort of like grown to be like halfway between the jaw and where the collarbone should be. So almost providing like a shell of some kind for the neck.
His own built-in Gambeson.
Hey, that's not too bad, yeah. Gamesons are fun though. Pretty.
Oh no, the necromorph.
Oh no.
Angry Isaac stomping noises.
As you look around the room, I'm gonna go ahead and say, as a scientist, since you are sort of examining this room, logically, and that's unfortunately caused you a bit of stress. You can determine and perhaps analyze trace elements of quinnitracetylene. I'm not sure I said that exactly correctly. I'm always bad with those, but I try. I will spell it out for you, of course. I'm sure Dino can pronounce this perfectly. I'd say it's probably something like quinnitracetylene. As a biologist, would you necessarily know what this is? Maybe not. It might not strike you as immediately like its use. It is highly combustible and perhaps explosive, though.
Perhaps.
You could think of it as space nitroglycerin. Something like that.
I'm not sure if my character would know or not.
Yeah, I'd say like as a biologist, like if you were a chemist or something, I'd say like yes, you probably know exactly what this is used for, which would be bad for me because I don't know. But as
Well, I
a
mean,
biologist, you're
eh,
like rock make boom.
as a biologist, he would know that anything with that many nitrogen is probably explosive.
Yeah. Wait a minute, that's like 3 too many.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
It's,
Hmm.
aside from that, though,
And like scientists everywhere, we have to test it to make sure.
just try
Lick
lighting
it.
it on fire.
What could go wrong in this completely non-controlled environment?
Yeah. So you would unfortunately have to head to the other science lab while you look for equipment. There's nothing really you could set up and start working on your project with.
Okay, let's go to that one.
All right. So as you start popping over here, there's a little bing, bing, bing coming from your motion tracker.
Which direction is it coming from?
All right, go ahead and make a power roll for me. So on your character sheet, Howard Johns, where do you go? Not sure if okay, you click power consumables, very bottom left. Okay, so you're now down to 1 power. Motion tracker's still operational though. Battery didn't fall out. And as it pings, it appears to be coming from over here. Oh, you even get a fun little ping motion. That's nice. It's probably just a cat. You know?
Right.
Yeah. Jonesy.
Head crab cat.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Is there a way of opening the door silently?
So in huh. I suppose you could with that comms or there's probably a way of like hacking the door, air quotes, to make it so you manually open it, as opposed to having it sort of do the battery powered hum and wish kind of sound. I guess that would more be like heavy machinery. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
I was gonna say, yeah, probably something like heavy machinery would be you sort of reprogramming the door, maybe on a slower setting, or basically like just kicking the lock off so that you could pry it open. Because you do have access to this as the scientist. Just pop it open.
Let's try it.
Nice. All right. So you do manage to fiddle with the door enough that you can slowly slide it open. And as far as you can tell, it made nary a sound.
Like a fart in the wind.
Is that kind of like tears in the rain, or?
Kind of, but it's the other end.
Yeah. Just roll it. Oh, ignore those. Okay, so you come in this room. There's an overhead light. Kind of think of like a fluorescent being held up, and one of the wires supporting it has broken, and it's slowly swinging back and forth, flickering. But aside from that, there are other sources of light that you could still work from and turn this one off if it annoys you too much. But even through your suit, you smell decay. You smell sick. Not not a pleasant smell anyway. You perhaps feel somewhat nauseous, at the first sort of waft of air. There's a large pile of bones in the middle of the room. And well, when I say large, I suppose you could probably guess about 3 bodies looking at it immediately. And there seem to be marks into the bone. Also has sorry?
Which lab was this?
This is Science Lab 1. It's just entered.
Okay, so but he found new corpses where in the storage?
No, he's just in the lab itself. This is in the middle of the room, basically.
Oh, so behind the other body there was more bodies then?
2 had one body.
Yeah, 2
but
had the one
has
body.
other bodies.
Okay.
Because 2
Just
is
trying to
the
keep track
oven.
of where.
Sorry, yes. And Science Lab
Okay.
1 is where he is right now. There's also a enclosed decontamination area. Basically, think of a third of the lab as being shut off with like an isolation type chamber. And inside that are various small samples of rock and things like that. There's also a strange looking urn inside there.
They weren't saying boo, they were saying boo worms.
Oh no! But aside from that, there's a whole bunch of
regressed.
lab equipment that you could use in this room: beakers and test tubes and microscopes, all that kind of fun stuff that scientists like to look at. And there's a freezer, probably used for holding a potentially viral contaminant or whatever else you'd put in the freezer like that. Cool stuff.
Not lunches.
Blood, yeah, bologna
if
sandwiches.
it's a fridge in any lab I've ever worked in, there's definitely food in there. You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Mystery meat.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So this is where spam comes from.
So you have the freezer, you have bones, and you have the decontamination room.
Let's look at the freezer first.
Okay. So you head over the free. Now you don't have to look at everything. You could always just say, that's cool. And also not
And
open
then weld the door
storage.
shut.
And weld the door shut and to get started on your work. I would probably lock the door in your character situation. We're also
let's lock the door.
okay. You lock the door behind you, and
Too bad there's still a fucking vent into there.
true, there is. We're also going to say that this room, I'm not sure if it's on the map, but it doesn't matter. We're going to say this room has an intercom. So you could potentially talk with everyone else if you needed to. But you go over to the freezer. Sorry, you said the freezer, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to force your hand here. But you go over to the freezer. And the door to it was a space glass of some kind, but it's been smashed. And inside are 4 urns. And each of these urns appear to have a metallic hue, but they are overflowing with like congealed fungal pools. It almost looks like. It's like sort of an ooze has seeped out of them.
I think you should taste it.
Delicious.
Do not do that.
I mean, that's how all science used to be done. You used to just taste whatever. You didn't know what it was. If it
And then
killed
we
you-
discovered technology to taste things for us, thus negating the point of killing our scientists.
Hey guys, I invented anthrax. Is it spicy? Let's find out.
God, there was a guy who
Mix it with some cayenne pepper.
I think it was like hydrogen cyanide or something. He was committing suicide with it, and he's like, "Well, for the record, I should write down what this tastes like before I die."
I love it. What a champ.
Oh, I think that's where the thing that cyanide tastes like almonds came from. Cyanide tastes kind of like bitter almonds, which are not the same as the regular almonds that you would get as like a snack. And the reason why bitter almonds taste like that is because bitter almonds have fucking cyanide in them.
Oh, that's
Yep.
funny.
I mean, food grade almonds have cyanide in them, just not in mass quantities.
Yeah, not nearly as much as a bitter almond does.
Mhm.
So it's not like you could put cyanide in your cookies and be like, "Oh yeah, they're almond cookies." No, it does not taste like regular almonds.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Damn, there goes my assassination. But I mean, in Minecraft.
There's a guy who he killed himself tasting potassium cyanide. He said it burns the tongue and tastes acrid.
That's interesting.
Yep.
So what say you, Dr. Johns?
Dr. Science Biology Man TM.
We're looking at these urns. There's a black congealed fungal pool spilling out of them.
Can I put the specimen thing in the freezer and the blueberries, and then take a sample of that fungus stuff and look at it under a microscope?
Okay, yeah, that's fun. So you put those in. Now the freezer itself is still operational, but obviously because it's broken into, it's cool, not cold. But I mean, it's definitely a good shout to put something in. So you set your blueberries in there. You put your specimen, and you notice immediately the fungal growth seems to start ever slowly, but you can still see it start creeping up the specimen. You grab a sort of, what's the eye spoon? That sharp spoon? Maybe you grab one of those or something and scoop a little bit of the fungal stuff onto like a petri dish and shove it under.
Oh,
You
just
don't
like a micro scoop.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I didn't even know they had those. I was just thinking sharp spoon sounds good.
Nah, your finger's just fine.
Yeah, just use your Coke
Just use your
nail. Wait, you're
hands.
not oregano. If you were oregano, you'd have a Coke nail. You could just scoop that shit up real easy.
That's right. No, Carrie Fisher was in the other sci-fi film.
Well, she was.
Hi. Anyway, so you you scoop some of this up. You put it on a petri dish, and you slipped it under a microscope. And as you look into it, okay, sorry, just one sec, guys.
Hi, Kaden.
Folks, say hi.
Huh?
Ayo.
Wha-
Don't die, be careful. At least one person on the side of a DM is on ours.
Just if you're touching fungus, wrap your willy. But all right. So you you look into it. You've never seen anything like it. It's definitely, and you've seen a lot of shit as a biologist. You've seen a lot of similar shit. I mean, it's a viral contaminant. Not unlike a cancer. And as you sort of probably poke and prod and introduce a few bits of things, it seems to replace cells but enhance them.
Hmm.
I'm gonna maybe make a bit of an assumption here that you then start looking at the specimen, perhaps the what are they? The blueberries. But that's entirely up to you.
Smacking the ooze off the specimen. No, it's fine. Get your own.
Yeah.
Let's look at the blueberries.
Okay. So the blueberries, you take one of them, you set it on one of the lab tables, and even though you're in a full spacesuit, you're still putting on an extra layer of gloves and stuff. Is now that you've seen a potential viral contagion, you're just like, hang on, you can never be too careful. And you slice in, and you're inspecting, and they appear to be because we're dealing with a almost like a living virus is probably the way you would describe it if you were to write about it for the public. But
Viruses, by definition, aren't living, Raffle.
this is very true. Normally, yes, but that's kind of the simplest way of putting it. Because as you cut these open, um, it releases a gas almost, just like a cloud or a very small puff particles into the air that all seem to have a hive mind. They move in very particular ways. These puffs, these motes, you might call them, and they seek out weaknesses in your suit. They press against it. They look for seams. They look for cracks. And unfortunately, their lifespan, you could probably give them about, let's say you observe them, and they die out after the period of like 15-20 minutes. However, looking back at the blueberry, it appears that it's producing more all the time.
Hmm. Let's put it back in. Oh,
Sorry, you put it back?
let's put it back in the freezer. Look at that specimen.
Okay. As you're putting it back, it releases another spew of motes into the air. The interesting thing is the second set of motes doesn't look at places the first set already had. It starts prodding in different directions. You're fully biologically contained, you're safe, you're fine, you feel comfortable, but it strikes you as worrisome, odd, peculiar. Set this back down. You grab the specimen, and the specimen, to your surprise, actually shares a lot of traits with the fungal growth you were looking at. A lot of the cells actually appear to be similar in nature, and in make, but also somewhat human. Seems like there may have been some amount of like human DNA or cell. Like you notice, for example, like the bone marrow is similar to like a human's or something like that. And you're like, oh, this is not great, some might say. um, Worrisome, perhaps. Although it does, in your mind, shed some light onto what happened to the crew. You assume that they all got sick with whatever this virus is, and it caused them to mutate, perhaps shrink into this smaller, compact vessel. Maybe this is just your hypothesis at the moment, of course, because you've only have so much information. But that perhaps maybe all their skin came off and they became some sort of a thing, or maybe only part of their body. But you can't find a definitive set of like human bones. Like it wasn't like a skull or anything like that. You didn't find like one large chunk. It seems like a combination of stuff. And while you're sitting there, and the light is swinging, and every now and then you go and you try and hook it up, or you get fed up, or you smack it, or you just turn the damn thing off and use the smaller strip lighting throughout the room, and you're writing all your notes down, and you're perhaps dictating to yourself on a small tape recorder. It's at this moment you start hearing a thump, thump, thump at the storage door.
Is it a rapping on your chamber door?
Yes, evermore. Something along those lines, anyhow. It just keeps going.
Does the storage door have like a window or anything I can peer through?
Okay, probably. I think that's fair. The inside of the storage door, or sorry, window would be thick with a black. You would actually go ahead and just make the assumption, being your character, that it is the fungal growth is probably been growing on the other side of the storage door, and the storage door feels, as far as anyone can feel at the moment, warmer than the air temperature in the room you're in. At least warm enough for you to feel it through your suit.
Hmm.
Yeah, as you sort of look through the window or try and peer in, but have no luck seeing through the fungal growth, the pounding starts getting louder and louder, and you start seeing dents appear on the door. And of course, constantly now your motion tracker is going ping, 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 just reminding you that there is something being alive, maybe dead, maybe.
Here's Johnny.
Or just be a chair. Who knows, man?
Guess that's why they pay you the big bucks.
Eat others.
Hmm. Can I just stop everything I do and get back to the rest of the people and inform them what's happening?
Yes. So what do you do in your perhaps your mind's racing, your heart's pounding in your chest. You know what I mean?
Knees weak, aren't spaghetti.
That's right.
Hmm.
What do you do? It's a panicked moment.
Oh, it unlocked the door.
Ah, you
Escape,
fucker!
lock
I
it.
was gonna say. I wonder if you remembered that. That's funny. Okay, so you run up, you unlock the door, and you start running your way back.
Unlock it.
Okay, and lock it behind you. I like that. That's cool. So we'll actually resolve that. You are going to meet up with Fox right after her scene. She's going to be probably somewhere over here, but we're not sure. So we're going to jump back to the crew on the Montero just briefly. We've now had a heated discussion between our good friends, our best friends, some would say. How is Miller and Wilson?
Don't you be fucking shipping us.
Enemies to lovers, dude. It's the best. But so here you guys are. You're here. Leah has actually just passed out, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
She noticed just as she was like fading in and out, possibly from pain, possibly adrenaline, possibly blood loss,
Possibly drugs.
possibly drugs, a lot of drugs.
Multi-drugs.
Yeah, all of the drugs. But as she was passing out, she saw a ping appear on the sensor. An external threat, perhaps another calling card of a ship. Sotillo. It just pinged ever softly, and she passed out. So we now have Wilson, Miller, and a passed out, high as fuck pilot. What do?
Well, I'm kind of wondering if we noticed the ping or not.
You wouldn't have known. You were arguing. Sorry, talking.
Conversing heatedly.
Conversing, yeah.
I
And
mean,
as I recall, you were hoping to see the original orders I'd been given. Yes, brought us out here.
well, let's go stuff this one in the med lab, but then yes.
They're gonna be all right, though. You think?
I mean, their leg got a bit of a cut in it, but yeah, some antibiotics cleaned the area up already and wrapped it, so yeah, I would say a few weeks bed rest, but obviously we don't have that.
No, probably don't. All right, I'll take one arm. You take the other.
Hmm.
All right, so the two of
Yeah,
you
okay.
escort. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was the end of it. Just
Yeah, the two of you escort Leah to the med lab, and the first thing you notice is everything's open. If a drawer could be open, it's open. If a medicine cabinet could be open, it's open. If the first aid kit could be open, it's open. Bandages, yes, those are there. Small suturing kit, yeah, you could probably find one. Maybe even if you're lucky, some styptic or something. But that's it. Anything that could be ingested or injected is missing.
Especially the oxy.
I swear we had a T4 around here. No, it's gone. The one that was taped to the bottom of the desk, that's gone. Now, your first and immediate problem is in the back of Wilson's mind. He screams, knowing someone's going to get the bill for this.
well, considering this all happened before we got here, I'm probably going to try and pass the buck on to if anyone survives from the original crew of this vessel. It's going to be them.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of look down at Leah, look at all the open cabinets, look down again, and then start rifling through Leah's pockets. Just
You don't
goddamn-
actually think she?
I don't think I know.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, give me an observation. Or like, how thoroughly are we searching here? Pretty thorough.
I mean, considering he said that he was like popping those pain meds up until he passed out, it's probably just like, right there, like
This,
jacket.
yeah,
pocket.
this is like one of like. She's got like a vest jacket, and it's like you open the first pocket, an empty bottle of Tylenol. You open the second pocket, like like another empty thing with like muscle relaxants or something. Like you're just finding like all these, and they're all empty. They're all gone.
So this might not just be someone passing out. She's probably going to OD on whatever this is.
Did she take the Narcan with her too?
I mean, yeah. Do we have any Narcan? Space Narcan.
Yeah, I mean, let's say, man, what you could find a, there's like an EpiPen or something that you find on her is the only thing that's not like completely unusable. Saving that
The
for like the
EpiPen
Hail
would probably
Mary.
stop her fucking heart
Yeah.
based off of all the drugs she's already on.
Well, that's coming out of her paycheck.
That's fair. Yeah. Sort of the.
Do you think she'll live long enough to have a paycheck?
Life insurance policy, paycheck, same difference.
Ruffle PM.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she'll probably live long enough. I don't know. Let's see. Does she still have a pulse?
Yes. You check her pulse, and if someone could have two simultaneous pulses,
That's just impressive.
I grew an extra heart to deal with those bullshit. Leah, could you go ahead and give me a stamina roll?
Yes, sir.
Let's get that blood pressure cuff and let's see what it says.
Why am I immediately reminded of that Robin Williams guy where he goes, "Oh, I was listening to my cardiac pulse rate," and my friend goes, "Hey, you can dance to
made
that."
it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, my doctor's like, "See, this doesn't sound very good." My Latin friend's like, "No, you could dance to that."
Oh my
The blood
god!
pressure cuff just says yes.
I love how like Leah has 0 stamina and 2 strength, and just fucking like, I did it. Do you want to give me a panic roll as well?
Pops
Just-
out of the coma.
Yeah, that's what that's literally what happened here. Leah's eyes like pop open. She like she's like, "Oh, I'm back. I'm back."
Was it panic roll?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If you hit max stress, you just die.
I wish. I don't think so though. You should though. You should just have a heart
correct.
attack. What is that, an 11?
Seat cover.
Seat cover? Oh, we had that one before. That's not too bad.
I just bolt.
That makes sense. I actually love that. Whether it's like running off to vomit somewhere, or like that feeling how cats go off to die alone. Leah's just fucked off. Like she just takes off running, and you perhaps hear the airlock door open. And a fun thing about the airlock door is, since it's mechanical wrenching and mother's intervention, when you hear the airlock door open, anyone on the Montero or the Cronus hears a grinding. Just like a gut-wrenching, like, and it's just the one door is just fucked, and it just sounds like that, and like literally both ships hear it and go, okay. So that's what y'all heard, and Leah's gone. We don't know where she is. She'll come back, I'm sure. We'll have to ask Origami where she ends up.
The better question is, how did this person escape? With the two of us standing right next to them.
I honestly, I want to believe like both of you were just like What?
barely looking away.
Yeah, like she freaked out and she like woke up and just.
Yeah. She started you.
Fucking spider monkey just.
I mean,
gone.
like that was a pretty good stamina roll. Like Leah is in it to win it. So
Well, until her heart craps out while she's running.
yeah, they say when you die you shit your heart. Something like
Yeah.
that, right?
I mean, something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they say when you die you shit your pants. Not Leah, she'll shit her heart.
It just bursts out of her chest
Oh,
like
it's not
that
even like a
fucking
blown
Indiana
valve. I had
Jones
a
scene.
frag grenade going off.
Yeah, like Leah's like gonna be dead but still alive. She just won't know it yet. We'll have to talk her into it.
So peace
By the way,
is an
Leah, you don't have a pulse. Oh, I don't. Crumples.
Right. So we
Just gotta look over at Wilson. Well, that's a new one.
Yeah. Also, that's the airlock. We should probably keep the drug addict away from the only functional ship we have.
She's not in a suit either.
Nope.
Her suit's damaged. Her visor got cracked.
yeah.
So we have
I would
two
say
that are probably infected now.
we should pursue this individual.
Wait.
I know they've probably taken everything under the sun in this room, but we're probably going to need at least some sort of tranquilizer. Do you think we'd be able to find one in this mess?
Oh, I kind of
Well-
love that.
I mean, she took the uppers and the downers, so maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
middle
They
now.
might- Look, I don't know. Maybe they have something for uniforms on another planet that's horse-sized. I don't know.
The space ketamine.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Space ketamine I have done.
All right, so Ruffle, probably going to need a search check from both her and I.
Sounds good. Give me observations. Whoever has the higher one, add +1 because the other person's helping you.
Okay, I would have a 4 plus 1,
Oh.
5.
And I've got a 2. So, yeah, I'll just...
Nice.
Okay.
Also, I'm looking at the ship, so I'm picking a location.
Oh, but Zelphus, you have more than a 4. What the hell do you mean?
I said I have 2. Observation, it says 2.
Yeah, but
That adds
Zelphus,
your
what
base
is your
stat.
wits there, friend? What's your wits?
Oh, I have 3.
So you have 5. Plus
Yeah,
your stress, you have 8.
Yeah, you get to add all
Okay.
that together. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So he should actually roll 1 more because of my help.
Still made it, but Jesus. Man, we're not very
But-
good at dice rolls. Unless you're Leah with a stamina check.
Let's be real here. Oregano has been rolling like the devil since this fucking thing started.
Yeah, dude.
But not if you're Leah and trying to melee somebody.
That's
with
right,
a-
yeah.
a
or
harpoon
pour
gun.
yourself up.
Typical Leah behavior.
Yeah.
Grandma's my.
As soon as Leah died, she got good. She's like, I'm running on adrenaline and drugs, boys. It's fine. Oh, nice.
Artificial and natural adrenals.
Mhm. All right. So yes, we're gonna go ahead and say you find a small vial and a syringe. Perhaps. Yeah. Let's just say an. I feel like an auto
Sorry,
injector is a
misspelling.
bit too dangerous, right?
Nah, it's fine.
Okay. Let's just say you find an auto injector with a tranquilizer in it. Price is horse pills or something.
Got it.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah.
It's that space ketamine, man.
That's right.
Listen, we're all aware that this individual is highly, highly contaminated with narcotics of all varieties. Our best chance is something that can knock them under, and then we can get them to some sort of machine that'll purge their blood. I can't do anything about the organs, but maybe we can get them to a machine that'll keep them from death.
The only way that Leia could be more immune to drugs would be if they were also a ginger.
Oh my god, it fucking sucks. It's horrible. But yes.
Because gingers need like 10 times the amount of like anesthetics to put them to sleep.
Is that because they don't have souls, or?
Maybe.
It's 'cause
But no,
they're
it's actually
hypermetabolizers.
Oh,
They
actually, that's cool.
metabolize. Yeah.
which kind of sucks for borrowed because when borrowed has pain, pretty much unless it's an opiate, it doesn't kill my pain. Like I could take
Even then,
a
you probably have
fistful of Aleve and it might dull it a little bit.
And if you are on opioids, you probably have to take it more often than the average person.
Yeah, and that's why I pretty much just live with the pain.
Delicious.
Yep. Oh well. In any case,
Roll endurance.
real life stuff fucking checks. Yes. But okay. Well, it's not like she's going to be able to do that much over there. Let's grab your orders and then I guess go start looking. The old ship.
Okay. I really am more hesitant about having a rampant drug addict moving around the ship, but do you have some sort of lockout or something that can keep them from just flying the hell out of here?
I mean, we can lock the airlock once we go through it. The door on the inside, as we saw when we came in, is a little bit fucked up, but the outside one should still be able to be locked.
I think Miller would know that the reactor's in low power mode still, too.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Miller doesn't know enough about the ship to know how to turn it on and off from the command console, so it's kind of like all roads lead to the bridge or the engineering room. So how hard would it be for a crackhead to go, power on, injector on, intakes on? Let's just flip all these buttons to on.
No, you see, Zelfis, they just went Hulk mode and just force that shit open.
What? Rip the console out and just started putting wires together?
Hot wire a fucking spaceship. Start sparking wires.
Oregano, this is
goes
not
off.
Oregano. This is not like the electrical room in Among Us. You can't just put shit together and hope it works.
I think in this fucking world that actually might work because everything's so low tech.
Don't give him ideas.
Ding.
Fucking light bulb.
You've gained epiphany.
I've just had an apostrophe. I think you made an epiphany.
Whatever. All right. So, anything you want to resolve with you two before we head back to Fox?
I mean, I want to read the goddamn orders.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we end with.
Yeah, I don't know. Where does Zelfus have the orders? Is it in?
It would be on the Montero.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would it be in like the crew area? Would it be with Mother? Where would we go for that?
So, well, this is up to Zelfus. Either you receive this as a like a personal email, and perhaps it would be in your computer or some such, like your own sort of personal computer, or you received it from Mother when boarding the ship, like your initial time.
No, because the way the sequence of events that happened was I received the update while we were in mid-flight. So
no, originally, you received it before you left.
Oh.
From Wayland Yutani headquarters sent you an email, or put it through Mother. This is whichever you would like, and that's before you left. Knowing that you would just.
Oh, I thought it was. I'm sorry, I misunderstood from our first session. I thought it was. I woke up out of the cryo chamber and suddenly like, this is
No.
different. By the way, Miller, you've got an email. Oh.
No, Mother called you when you first woke up, just as sort of a, hey, let's just, chat as our Wayland Yutani rep, and sort of, wake everybody up and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure. I think Miller also spoke to her right after waking up, as is customary.
Yeah,
then I would have gotten it. Originally, the original sent to me was from email, right?
I would make that assumption, something like that.
Let's go to that one then.
Okay, so you actually just head to the crew quarters then, which let's just say in the galley, I guess, something
That
like
could
that.
work.
You probably have like a, I don't know, like a little computer terminal all to your own that's literally just for bookkeeping, or everyone would have assumed. It's probably like all just horrible accountant shit and nobody even wants to look at it.
It's like Bard making D&D. There's just 75 spreadsheets open. Yeah,
So Wilson sits at his computer, he types in his password, and he pulls up the original email. And Miller, how are you standing during this? Like how confrontational are you? Is the pulse rate
I pull up my original orders. I push the monitor over so it's not directly at me. Lean off to the left so that he can look directly at it.
Okay.
It's kind of like, here you go, my original orders, step by step.
Okay.
Hopefully it's his true original orders and not the fake original orders they told him to keep on his email for this exact reason.
Wait, no, it gets even better. Just what are hot girls off of Orion? Oh shit! Sorry. Wrong email. Sorry.
Yeah, what's that email above this one? Something about increasing your RAM?
Hey, know that now.
Download dedicated RAM. What's this?
You can also see like his fucking emails from Spacey Harmony about all the matches he has.
Hot singles in your area. Where? On the Cronus.
Taking off Orion's belt.
There's a picture of the hot singles, and it's just the fucking head crab tumor monster.
Excuse me, and Granny. Vent Granny's probably there.
Well, Granny's not on the Cronus anymore.
That's true. She's no longer.
Not among the living anymore either.
I think there's a few hot singles in Science Lab too as well, but
Only one, right?
just one. Yeah, you're right. Oh well. All right.
Well, I mean that one in the science lab is also plus sized.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with that. So, we've while all this is happening, Fox, here you are. You hear a horrible shudder, shudder, shudder groan. You're unsure as to what this new noise is, but you hate it. Anyway, something else wrong with this damn ship in your mind.
It's like anytime you're on a boat or an aircraft and the aircraft makes a weird stuttering or a grinding noise for no reason, and then it just kind of dissipates. You're going, I don't want to hear that at this altitude, let alone while we're in ocean. That's not good.
So, we have Kayla Rye. She's standing there. She's lit her flamethrower. She's pointing it at two guys who've just come up to her. We have a younger, I suppose, sort of mid-30s, let's say, Asian guy. We have the older white gentleman who's very scraggly in appearance. And then we have Ada 6, I believe was her name. Yes, Ava 6. And she's got a fire extinguisher and was ready to just crack one of their heads open as they came through the door.
The two opposites. We have a flamethrower and a fire extinguisher.
Nice. That is pretty funny. So the gentleman on the left, Fox, do you think Kayla Rye would have taken note of the crew's names before?
Before the flamethrower.
I mean, you can recognize
Maybe.
them. Sorry.
I was gonna say maybe because, they might still be on the ship.
Okay, so you would recognize Daniel Cooper on the left and Liam Flynn on the right. Or rather, if your character was looking at them, reverse that. But on our screens. And Dr. Cooper has just vomited over the floor. He's barely being held up by an equally weak Dr. Flynn. Dr. Flynn is the ship's medic. Daniel Cooper is the ship's scientist. or head scientist rather. Only surviving scientist, perhaps another way of putting that. Knock on wood. And so they've just vomited. They're experiencing, as the medics is, extreme, an extreme case of what's that word? Sleeping sickness, because they've been in cryo sleep for 50 some years or something like that. So their bodies have no food, but more importantly, they're like freeze dried for that period of time. So they are massively dehydrated. They're sick, they're dizzy, they're unaware of perhaps fully where they are, and there's certainly no help to you like this. So Flynn, the one on the right, says, "Please, just need to get to medbay. If you could just help us get there and fix us up some stuff, put some IVs in to get some water back in us, and then we can explain everything."
So I was trying to ask this last time. Am I by like any sort of communication device to be able to talk to?
Your
What's
butt
Rudy's
is
character's
on
name?
the conversation panel.
Yes. So you could like sort of flick an intercom and chat with anybody you wanted to.
Well, she's kind of on the defense. Like she's got her flamethrower thing kind of pointed at them a little bit, and yeah, she doesn't really trust them. So she's gonna flick the communication comms thing on if I can.
Okay. And who are you? You're just gonna shout out to everybody on the Cronus?
Probably though. I'm trying to talk to what's Rudy's character's name?
Oh, Dr. Johns.
Dr. Johns.
The name Papa.
Nice.
Sorry.
So you bing, and Rudy, you're in the, well, this would have been while you were still in the lab, and you're doing your research, and you hear a little, and the intercom comes through. What do you say, Fox?
Sorry, just trying to think of wording. I'm sorry, I cannot think. What would you call them? Oh, crewmates. I guess crewmates would work.
Yeah, crew's good.
Go back to Among Us, right? Dr. Jones, we got two crewmates up here looking pretty gnarly.
Dr.
How
Jones,
gnarly is
command
gnarly?
station.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, Bart, cut him off.
My shit posting.
How gnarly is gnarly?
Well, let's just say we need to clean up in aisle 4. What did he say it was? It was some kind of sickness.
Sleeping sickness, yeah.
They say it's sleeping sickness. Does that check out to you?
So, Rudy, sleeping sickness is just the term I'm using for it anyway, but it's when you be in cryo sleep because you're just frozen, essentially. Your character's not eating, drinking, etc. during that period. And the longer you're in there, the more dehydrated just naturally your body becomes over time. And because they were in there for such an extended period, the thawing process kind of wasn't great. So they're suffering from a lot of issues with their body, but the main one is the lack of water. Because over any period of time, not having water is bad for you. So, can cause a lot of crazy shit.
Damn, 70% of my body.
And we mute it.
Yeah, I need to learn how to swallow properly.
Hmm.
Throw it down the wrong pipe.
Uh-oh.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure what to do.
Currently, you're being chased by unknown being.
Well, no, that's about to happen. Basically,
Ah.
Fox is gonna finish her scene, and then Rudy's gonna be coming right out the door and meet up with her. So the question, I guess, Fox, is how much do you trust them? Do you trust them enough to follow behind them with a flamethrower, the med lab?
I mean, I don't think I have any other choice, really.
Well, you could sit here, make them go off by themselves. You'd send the robot with them, and you wait here. You bring the robot with you.
How far away is the med bay?
It's on this floor, but it's all the way down at the bottom, down near where Rudy is. You have to scroll-
50, 60 feet.
Yeah, not far.
Well, I probably know that he's in there, so I guess I could come his way with them to take them to the med lab, and maybe he can look them over.
Okay, that's a good shout. So you probably message over comms then and say, okay, we're heading to med lab. When you finish up doing your research, or looking into the specimen, or however you would phrase that, you probably say, like, pop on over and maybe give him a glance as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So do you... so Ava 6 is still standing there with the flamethrower, and she sets it down, and she says, she doesn't know your name, actually. So she says, crew member of the Montero, do you still require my assistance, or shall I go elsewhere and look into other people?
I'd like your assistance, actually.
All right. So she nods, doesn't say anything more, and she would probably follow behind you so that you could keep your flamethrower on these two, or whatever seems to make you most comfortable as you walk.
If possible, she'd probably have you go. Probably have her go beside her, because.
Okay, yeah, you work like side by side down the corridor. That's fine. She'll upgrade her flamethrower maybe to a maybe she. That's probably not much else. She probably still carries the flamethrower as a weapon, or not flamethrower, the fire extinguisher. Sorry. And so you've got your flamethrower. So Dr. Flynn helps Cooper into the med bay, and he. How are you handling this? So they spill into the med bay, the two of them, and it's a mess. We'll sort of, I guess, briefly describe the med bay here. It's not good.
Is there a gremlin rooting through there for drugs?
No, no, thankfully not. There's a corridor heading off to the side to a room that you can't see, and your character may not even know what would be beyond it. You might not recognize it. I can. 2 seconds. Okay. So you might not even know what would be down there. But sorry?
Yeah, you cut off, at least on my end.
Oh, okay. You might not even know what would be down there. But the med lab itself is fairly fairly clean, considering. There's definitely spots of dried blood on the floor, and it looks like there's a few first aid kits that have been opened and discarded in a corner. For the most part, this room itself looks okay. There's a fridge that's
like super sealed, could be a freezer, but some sort of refrigeration unit, and has a key card, like a double key card lock on it. In the one side, and you can't even see what's in it, just frost emanating from it. But Flynn pops Cooper up on one of the tables and sits in like a wheelie chair and moves over beside him and takes 2 IV bags and sticks them in, full of a clear liquid. And just sort of starts sitting. He probably also hooks up a few like pads and sort of gets like an EKG or whatever, or an ECG, sorry, up and stuff like that. Sort of just checking how things are going. Small diagnostics for the human body. And what does Rye do? Does she stand at the door with the flamethrower? Does she come in? Does she sort of send Ava in? Does she try and help?
She's not helping them. Plus, for one thing, medical's not exactly her strong suit there.
Yeah, if he was a machine, you could fix him, but it's fair.
Honestly, probably just kind of awkwardly stands there for a couple minutes because they probably can't really talk in the initial,
Okay, that's fair.
setup.
So you just have you lowered the flamethrower? Or are you still pointing it? Like, describe her stance.
She still kind of has it pointed at them a little bit because she doesn't really trust them.
Okay, you're just watching them do their thing. Well,
Like she saw the thing that happened with Cham and that alien thing or whatever, right?
Yes, she saw that jump out. She covered the other vent, actually.
Yeah, so she doesn't really trust anything on this ship.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, you've seen some weird shit. So Cooper is still laying there. He probably props himself up with a pillow at this point, and he's looking at you and kind of gives like the a very weak but thumbs up, like, you know what I mean, like we got there kind of thing. And so Cooper's the older one. He says, "Forgive me if I don't speak much. I have a horrible headache, just pounding." And says, "Oh, that's just the dehydration. It's common. Don't be surprised if you start seeing things or suffering or vomiting." And he turns to you and says, "Well, I'm Liam Flynn. I'm the medic here on the Cronus, or what's left of it. I'm surprised. What year is it?"
I don't even know what year it is.
You're asleep so long, years don't exist.
I'm sure she knows. I just don't remember myself.
It's 70-something years since they froze.
It's 2077.
2077. Sure, we can go with that.
2170 something, didn't we say?
Whoops. Yes, I believe. Is it this one?
Because the ship was missing 2110, so 73 years would be 2183.
I was just trying to make a cyberpunk reference.
Yeah.
But Bara needs to know. Was it 2183? You said?
Well, if it's been 73 years, they've been missing since 2110.
2159 is in the backlog, so it might be that year, or that's when they took.
Well,
off
that's when their mother last updated the list.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
They've been off communication since 2110, so I guess we're in 2183 then.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I never really had like a
So
super set date.
2175 might be that one.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and 2183 seemed a little long, but I don't exactly remember because the year wasn't important until right now.
So we're going for
the time frame was important. You know what I mean? Like the series of events was important, but not so much the exact start date.
So should we just move them going missing back to like 2100 flat?
Yeah, we could. Okay, let's just say 2183 then. That's fine. We can continue with that one. So, you say 2183. The guy 20. Oh, how many years has it been since we've been cryosleep? He's trying to sort of jot stuff down on like a note paper and pencil. Looks up to you. Well, where are we? Are we on our way back home? Where are we headed? What's going on? Who are you? I'm sorry. I promised you answers, but I have so many questions of my own.
Aren't they like in the middle of nowhere, basically?
Yes, but he doesn't know that. They've been adrift.
And somehow they haven't pinged off a planet.
Space is empty, man.
It's pretty empty. Yeah.
I guess would
Yeah,
you
but I
have
mean-
the location, or is it just kind of like middle of nowhere?
Yeah, you could just say like, because you're determining sort of like Rye's personality here. Is she a bit like that? Like, you know what I mean? Would she be like, "Oh, you're in the shit end of nowhere, man"? Like, you know.
You're on the shit end of Fuck Creek.
Yeah. Odds of us finding you were 1,000,000,000 to 1.
Well, Wayland Yutani found him.
Hey, dogs are
Shh.
barking. I'll be right.
Rye doesn't know that.
Doesn't know what.
Oh, that Wayland Yutani found them.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, Wayland Yutani updated us saying that there was a ship.
That's true, but Rye still thinks it's because you just happen to be by it.
Fair. Fair.
Well, we're currently in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how we found this damn ship.
Oh. Okay. Here's the important thing to know. There was an outbreak. A virus. We've called it the 26 Draconis strain. We've done some tests. I think I've isolated a cure. I can inoculate people. I've created, well, some of us received inoculations and went into stasis before it all went too bad. Myself and Dr. Cooper here, among them. Your crew, if there's more of you, if any of you have been exposed to the air here, I don't know if you've seen them, but it's like a black powder in the air. It gets in your lungs and it mutates your body in some way. I've seen it happen to more of the crew than I'd like to admit. But you really all should become vaccinated to this. I can create more if you need. It'll take me some time. There may still be some left over in this refrigeration unit, but I'm not sure there'd be enough for your whole crew. How many are you?
So her eyes kind of widen just a little bit when you mention about like exposing yourself to it, because she knows, that Cham kind of did that.
Yeah, that's true.
She's like, fuck.
Good buddy.
I'm trying to count how many people there are.
Oh, in the crew 6. Teraz you.
But do we trust him enough to actually give him that intel?
I know, I was thinking about
Does Rye
fibbing that
trust me
number.
enough? I mean, you could. Maybe you just say 2, right? Because you know you'll likely meet up with Dr. Johns, and you don't want him to think you a true liar. If you would like to tell a lie, please give me an empathy roll.
Just
I
saying.
think 2 would be too few though, because they should know how many it takes to run a ship.
Maybe lie and say 30. We have a fucking army. What do you have?
Oh yeah, we had an entire Colonial Marine detachment, bud.
Yeah. We even got a guy with a pulse rifle.
Honestly, I'm thinking about just going the route of not truly lying, but just saying enough to run our ship, basically.
Okay, that's fun. So is that what like Rice is?
Yeah.
She bit like bit gruff maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Tell a lie. Press 1. To get vaccinated, press 2.
Maybe that's why she and Cham get along then. One's gruff and one sounds gruff because he's retarded. Succinct, that's the word. I just don't use more words than you need.
Why use many word when few do trick?
I love that. I love that so much. Okay. He sort of nods, a bit confused. Says, "You don't have to trust me. You don't have to tell me anything. But I need your help to get out of here. We all do. Anyone that takes the vaccine, we can get in cryotubes. If your ship's still running, we can escape. We shouldn't stay here any longer than necessary. The virus should be contained as long as we've all become vaccinated to it. It's just the case, well, if anyone hasn't taken it and is infected, I would hate to run into another one of the specimens, the creatures.
What are these specimens?
He furrows his brow a bit, and like a sort of a bead of sweat runs down the side of his face. There's on the planet I don't know, something about this virus. It's affected people. Have you seen any alive? Have you seen any of them?
I wouldn't know because I don't know what they look like.
It's fair. Cooper, to his right, sort of like groans. He's like, "Oh, my head."
What's wrong with your friend there?
Sleeping sickness. This is very common. Dehydration makes you just all sorts of problems. But I mean, headaches, weaks, pains. Like I said, hallucinations could be something that that either of us are suffering from. I'm younger. Maybe that's why I was less affected. Who knows?
Flynn just had some Gatorade secreted away.
That's right. Yeah. Let's have a little sip.
She can't help herself. She's kind of glaring at the older guy. Can't remember his name. Sorry.
Oh, Cooper. Yeah.
Because she's not trusting his behavior right now.
No.
No.
Wow, that's not.
But she
nice.
doesn't really understand all the medical stuff, so she's really hoping that Mr. Jones will show up soon.
Oh, I see. Well, as is there anything else you will maybe give you like 2 more questions if you want to interrogate Flynn anymore, then we can have Jones show up.
So why did you guys go into cryo? That's my next question.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, once we isolated the outbreak, the contaminant, the virus, the 26 Draconis strain, once once we were able to find that, not everyone in the crew was at a point we could save. Some of us were too far gone, and some argued against taking the vaccine. I know Cooper even initially put up a huge stink about it. If you remember that, Cooper, to think we were on opposite ends of that, and Cooper just is holding his heads, and he sort of like waves his hand at him. He's like, if they knew what was in it, they would have agreed with me. And Flynn's like, well, the point is, it worked. And we were fine. And those of us that took it decided to go into cryo. We could sleep it off. The rest of the crew was sort of, unfortunately, have nature take its course over time. And then we would hopefully wake up when help arrived. It was a gamble, but it seems to have paid off.
So you're telling me the rest of the crew just was okay with you guys taking this and going into cryo?
Well, those of the crew who disagreed, we yes, yeah, they agreed to pilot the ship and head off, in search of the next starbase, another Weyland-Yutani outpost, and they thought it best if we weren't around and consuming resources.
Oh, a hell of a job they did piloting.
Well, that's a little sassy, Fox. I don't know. I think that's harsh. All right, so something written down. I'll give you one more question, sorry, and then we'll get to Dr. Johns, just in case you had one. A pretty good chance to sort of information dump, and then you'll have to relay it to the rest of the crew.
She doesn't know about Grandma, right?
She knows of Valerie Reed. She doesn't.
Not
you
that
know
she's a
of
fucking super
Valerie
grandma that almost killed everybody.
That's right. She doesn't know any of that story, but she,
She
Valerie
knows that
Reed
Ada
was.
said Grandma was alive.
That's right. Valerie Reed's around, but you don't know that she's actually alive and that she was actually very strong.
But she
so
was
she
a premium shit brick house.
just knows that Valerie Reed is supposedly alive and running around the ship.
So said Ada.
Man, I would have hated to see her in her prime.
Oh my
If
god,
she's that
right?
strong at like fucking 90, like imagine her when she was in her 20s.
This is her prime.
She was a colonial marine. They make you a man. or a woman in this case, I suppose.
What do you know about Valerie Reed?
Oh, Reed. She was one of the colonial marines on board. The work we were doing for Weyland-Yutani was considered dangerous, I suppose. Very. I think they were worried about pirates. Maybe not like your old getting doubloons pirates, but people at least armed with weaponry trying to steal information from us and our research. So she was brought along with us. The other three died, unfortunately. Well, I'd rather not go into that. But Valerie Reed, I haven't seen her since we went in the stasis. She didn't agree to take the inoculation. Not willingly, anyhow.
Well, what would you think of the idea of her possibly running around the place still then?
After this long, it's impossible. Medically, I could tell you she would have died years ago. But even as an intellectual, I could say that the food supplies on the ship would have run out. I'm sure it would have become too cold, or the oxygen supply would have failed, some such like that.
She looks at Ava 6.
Ava 6 looks back to Flynn. I've seen her, Flynn. She's alive. And he's actually visibly shocked by that. We're gonna give him a good old point of stress. Good
You're
guy,
welcome.
Flynn. Thanks, man. He shook. It's at this point. So Rye is directing her attention towards Flynn and chatting with him. But you did say she was worried about Cooper. So would you say that she's focusing sort of between the two of them, watching carefully?
Yeah.
I'd say that's fair. Do you want to give me an observation check?
If I can find it.
Yeah, go for it. I think it's called observation in this game. I do mess that up. I don't think I've said perception yet. Oh. It's to the.
I think I found it. I have shitty observation, so.
I think your wits is good though. Oh, that is very apt, actually.
Natsu.
To observe and also panic.
Why don't you give me a point of stress and roll a panic roll for me? See what happens.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble finding anything on this thing.
Oh, that's all right. Sorry. It's one of those funny
Stress
things.
is
Like,
top left, panic rolls in the middle.
I found the stress. Panic roll is the one I'm having trouble
right
with.
under your career, they'll say roll buttons panic.
Thank you.
Thanks. Perfect. Wow. Oh my god. Kayla Rye giving zero fuck. Well, that's actually funny too, because isn't that your talent? Is that your character's just dead inside?
I think so, basically.
She don't give a fuck no more.
Well, it's not that she's dead inside, but she's seen hell, so she's like, okay. And so at this point,
I've crawled through worse than that.
yeah.
Hey, kids, want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
Sure.
You see a bead of blood, or at least a red liquid, come out of Cooper's nose. And then more. It starts to come out of his ears. His eyes start to sort of become bloodshot, and he starts coughing. And Flynn's like, Cooper, what the hell's wrong with you? And Cooper tries to respond, but he just chokes. He chokes and he starts writhing and convulsing, and Flynn's pressing up.
This is your moment to flamethrower him, by the way.
So Flynn starts to hold him down as he's convulsing, and then very quickly jumps back as a sickening pop happens. A bloody splash. An eyeball launches out of his socket and smashes against the glass in the room. It rolls under a table. And a slender, gore-covered arm pushes its way out of Cooper's empty eye socket. It reaches around and tugs at his mouth, which is now distending. His little spindly white fingers start yanking on his teeth and ripping his skull open at either end. There's a very gross sound that happens right now, like a pop and a snap and flesh tearing and tendons snapping, bones splintering, and just a sad gurgling sound emanating from whatever was left of Cooper at this point. And Flynn is in full-on fucking panic mode. He's pressed against the wall, he is screaming, and Kayla Rai stands there watching it all and blinks.
Same shit, different day.
So there's now a translucent white thing sort of shoving off the skin that is left behind by Cooper, and it's struggling to stand on 4 wobbly fawn-like legs. What do you do, Fox? What does Kayla Rai do? At this point,
Go ahead, sorry.
it's okay. Dr. Johns is coming down the corridor and is hearing a horrible scream, a man's scream, coming from the med lab. And what do you do, Fox? Whatever you do now.
Back the hell up and aims her flamethrower at him to...
I love it. Give me a ranged combat roll there.
I would
don't
certainly
have
hope
very
a
good
flamethrower
range
can't
combat.
miss.
I think the flamethrower has a bonus too, right?
Yeah, I gotta find what it is. Flamethrowers can miss, but their damage is like fucking insane. Essentially, they have very special rules for damage, and I just gotta find it.
Oh, it doesn't have a bonus. That's dumb. The fucking knife has a bonus. Why doesn't the flamethrower, considering it's an AoE weapon?
I think it's because the idea of like weapons at short range don't suffer penalties to hit. So like the bonuses are more to offset. I don't know about the knife. Doesn't matter. Either way, let's see. Yeah, anything hit by it catches fire. Intensity 9.
Alright, so just a ranged combat roll, nothing else, right?
Yep, that's right.
Please reroll that.
Yeah, you can take a point of stress to re-roll that if you'd like.
Definitely. So I'm guessing when like I do it, it like catches or something. You know, like trying to start the flamethrower, it
Yeah,
initially
it
catches.
sputters. I love that. Yeah, it's like, pss, 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 and you're like, no, no, no,
Realized
no,
the
no.
pilot light was out.
Yeah.
Just fucking start smacking at the side of it.
Oh my god, how do you guys roll dice this bad?
How do you roll dice this good, you shit?
Yeah.
I wonder what happens if I were to just hypothetically here roll like a dodge roll or something. Just
Come on, Raffle. You said it was staggering around. How is it going to suddenly get like
I know,
combat reflexes?
I just wanted to know what would happen if I rolled that though.
That's XCOM, baby.
Yeah.
It's like a
yeah.
baby deer, it doesn't know what it's doing yet. It can't dodge.
Oh my god, no, it's everybody, it's not just you.
Oh my god. How many fucking not sixes is that?
Too many.
Yeah, why does a brand new creature have...
Oh, that was Valerie
10
Reed's
dice?
stats.
Yeah, okay, but why is it using Valerie Reed's stats though?
Oh, I was just clicking a random one, sorry.
He was
What's
just
that,
doing it for
1
fun.
6 out of 26 dice? Jesus Christ. You'd
Yeah.
expect 4 from that.
Also, lobster PMs.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna roll. That's fire intensity 9. So I roll 9 dice. I don't know if there's a base dice, stress days. No, that's okay. So
I think you just roll 3d6 3 times, right?
oh, I can do 96 is fine. Like instead of doing it that way. Yeah, it is prettier doing it that way though. So that's chill.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think that they have the fancy logos unless you press the buttons.
Yeah,
in the character
unfortunately.
sheet. Or I guess they don't either.
No, see, it
Okay.
doesn't. That's unfortunate. Okay.
So 1 fail, 1 success.
Um,
Whatever that means.
Yeah, we'll just do 96. Okay, so 3 successes. So that's a success on a fire is like instant damage, and everything else doesn't count, essentially. So it just took 9 points of damage, and armor reduces that. This thing doesn't currently have an armor because it is a baby, and
Babi.
Bobby. Every round you're on fire, your intensity increases by 1 until you put it out.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fire is fucking terrifying in this. So next turn it has 10 intensity on it. Anyway, this thing's flailing and screeching the god awful worst noise you've ever heard. Dr. Johns, give me a panic roll. We're not going to increase your stress right now, but well, I feel like you're kind of on the run from stuff right now, so you're not as likely to
He's busy
panic.
looking down the hall, not up.
Yeah, so like he hears this noise and doesn't matter whether that thing's in front of him or behind him. He's considered it the same threat, so he's not going to take more stress from it. That makes sense. He's just going to panic because he's like, "Oh fuck, it's found me."
Not again.
Is Rudy unmuted?
Nope.
Nice. So we didn't hear anything you said. If you said, "Oh, take a panic roll for us," sorry. And at
Wait,
this
what?
point, take a panic roll because you've heard this thing, like just the worst scream you've ever heard in your life. You're not increasing your stress, but you are panicking at it. Okay, cool. So Dr. Johns, again, you've already dealt with some rough shit just very recently, so you're not too affected by this. And you run around the corner to see your crewmate, Kayla Rye, and the robot. And Kayla Rye has her flamethrower just belching fire into this fucking room. Like, just. He heard both screams, Fox, yeah. But the alien one is the one that made him panic. Flynn is, of course, trying to move, but it looks like he's too shook. Like he's like chicken shit kind of thing. Like he's getting lower to the ground and like just staring. Shook status, yes. At this point, you hear a horrible bang, 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 bang. It sounds like something is running through the vents, but you're not sure quite what. And not really focused on that because you're focused on this thing in front of you. And it's going to go ahead and attack. So that's always fun.
Does it not have to make a panic roll for being on fucking fire?
It doesn't care. It's not going to worry about that right now.
It's learning from Ray because it's the first one he saw.
Fire
It was
transfer?
born.
Oh,
So-
no, not.
So Cham stabbed the first one, and it died from 1 stab wound. This thing took 9 flame damage and doesn't care.
Actually took 3 flame damage.
Well, you said 9 earlier.
No. Sorry, fire intensity 9, but whatever the intensity is,
Steel damage.
yeah, that's like each of those is a 1d6. A 6 is damage. Minus
Okay.
armor.
But isn't that like the same amount of health the first one had? Just saying. Like, out of character, obviously.
No. Yes, it is. I can't say any more than that, unfortunately. So, the interesting thing is, the enemies in this game, the aliens, they have a d6 chart for what attack they use. That's how it works. So it's kind of interesting. I will create a random character here. Just call it all players. That's fine. Alien thing. Okay, and I'm gonna give it some strength And probably the only other thing we'd need right now is like agility. And then health. Cool. Looks good to me. Just need to get a picture. Yes. Also, he's dead. Unfortunately, R.I.P. Okay. So, little alien's gonna go ahead and lunge towards Leah for to kill. And he does a. Okay, so he leaps at you like a big monkey kind of thing. Its arms are too long, or its legs are too long, however you want to look at it. It's gangly. It's not really striking you quite right. It doesn't get a grasp, but it does unfortunately like pierce your suit, and you start bleeding from a few like chest scrapes and stuff like that. And it probably also tries like biting at your helmet unsuccessfully. So you take 2 points of damage there.
So that means I drop it off my health, right?
Yeah. And at this point, it is Dr. John's turn. As he stares in moderate horror. You hear the paddle, 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 paddle of feet running towards you. And your motion
I thought it
tracker
was
starts pinging, 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 pinging.
Is this in front of me or behind me?
So if we're looking at our character, it's coming from his right, or it would be coming from over here, essentially. It's ping, 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 ping.
Is it our crack addict?
It's a crack addict. Just running full tilt down the fucking hallway. And Leah, this is when you would hear combat and see screaming, and probably a creature. I assume like Leah's in the doorway and this thing jumps out of the doorway, like slashing at her and like trying to like hold on her like an ape, and it's on fire. She like whips it off herself again.
Currently, I have tunnel vision, so I'm just seeing face, creature, face again, and just fucking zooming back and forth. I don't know if I'm in combat, or I know I see creature.
Okay, so it's Rudy's turn first, and then yours. And I
All right.
don't think Rudy has any weapons currently. But that's not.
I don't think I do.
No, you have the motion tracker, which is pretty cool, but right now not very good. It's definitely probably kept you alive, exploring science, but throw some science at it.
Should have kept the explosives from lab 2. I guess I go run and see what's happening at the door.
Okay, well you see this creature battling Rye. I don't know. Do you even step into
wrong.
that fight? There's a giant, disgusting Bambi ape thing screeching and like gross and wet and on fire. And if you just want to run away, that's fine. If you just want to kind of like stand behind her and stare, that's fine.
Kind of gonna stand behind her and stare.
Okay, that's chill. So we have one crack addict. It's your turn.
Um, uh,
Of course, his mom came right then.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
PM Slopser.
Okay.
Do I see this Rudy's character, the scientist?
Yes.
I basically yell at him, pilot room now, where?
Pilot room.
Weren't he at the comm station, like next to the pilot?
You ran away from the comm station to come down here.
Yeah, the
In
bridge.
the
The bridge
ship.
is up top. You heading back up? He says, "Oh, the bridge
Nah,
is that way."
I'm asking Rudy. I don't know yet.
The way you said that made me think he asked the creature. Oh, the bridge is that way?
Well, to be fair, Lee is the only character that doesn't or hasn't been to the bridge.
Yep, I haven't been
He's
here
never been on
at
the
all.
Cronus yet. Yeah.
Well, I mean, did it not say when he came down the junction ladder, like bridge that way, armory that way?
He is
He's talking
high
to
as
crack.
shit.
And
Exactly. You talk to a
and
crackhead
almost
running
died,
Mach
too.
50
Yeah.
with tunnel vision
And has a broken leg.
and a broken leg.
The world's fastest hobbling crack addict.
That's right. Yeah.
Sounds like something in the fucking Special Olympics. Ah, wait, fuck, that's probably TOS.
So, Rudy, do you tell him which way the bridge was?
Do I even know where the bridge is?
Yeah, you were there before. It's fine.
Yeah, I tell him.
Okay.
My character just fucking books it.
For the bridge?
Yes.
All right. Goodbye. Bye, Leah. As you run, or
Thanks for
try to
not
run,
help.
as you attempt to run, you do feel better. You almost feel stronger. Like maybe all the drugs are finally kicking in. The pain's not bothering you as much. And that broken leg of yours doesn't really seem to hold you back the way it used to. So we're gonna go ahead and say your leg's no longer effectively broken, and give yourself +2 strength.
All right.
Well, anyway, it's now you've become grandmother, Vet and grandma. So at this point, probably Kayla Rye's like, "What the fuck?" Like, first off, nobody's helping me. Everyone's like shuddering and shivering and whatever. I guess Ava's gonna attempt to step up and go ham with a fire extinguisher on this thing.
Attempt to stove its head in.
Attempt to stove its head in. She's like, "Don't worry," kind of thing. Just she probably doesn't even say anything because it's Ava. She probably just fucking goes up and she's like, "Well, I got a job to do right now, so just
You have been terminated.
The proper term is to robust the alien.
robust." She cracks into it with the fire extinguisher, and it really just glances off a carapace that is starting to harden around it. She goes, "Oh, it's starting to be too late. It's your turn, Fox."
Is this thing still on me?
No, you've like thrown it off to the floor, but it's like you're still scrapping with it. Essentially, it's like trying to get at you.
Does it take any fire damage from being set on fire still?
That'll be on its turn. It takes the next fire attack. You could light it up again if you want to. But it is still burning.
I mean, hypothetically, it's probably pretty close to dead.
I would agree, but I don't know if Kayla Rai agrees. I think this might... It's up to her. Like, Fox, this could be a kill it with fire moment where you're like, you know what I mean? There's no such thing as overkill. Or this could be a, you know, it's burning. Let me try and, like, seal the door and get out of here. Or, you know, maybe try and grab Flynn and get him out of the room, like, while still pointing your flamer at this thing that's writhing around.
Yeah, I'll probably try to do that. If it like comes anywhere near her, though, she's gonna let loose with the flamethrower again.
Okay. So you grab Flynn, who is like sort of shuddering on the floor, and you pull him out. You've got the flamethrower pointed, and he's like sort of behind you. You're like, you know, your move, asshole, kind of thing.
Yeah, move.
He as you say that, like he sort of moves with you. And let's go ahead and give the flamer. Yep. It buckles. It sort of just falls over, and it's let's just say like its gut bursts. It just explodes, and just a massive viscera goes everywhere over the floor.
Also, Ava won some points with her just for at least attempting to help. Everyone else just left. Cried on the floor.
Well, that is currently the last thing she was program priority 1 to do, right? So I don't want to help you. It's my programming. She may, though. She may legitimately care as much as a synth could. And I think we are going to call it shortly. We're going to... Is it fair to say that at this point, somebody goes over the intercom? Probably Miller, because I feel like Miller would do something like that and like announce to call all the crew together, and then everyone meets back at the bridge. Like a fair kind of idea. Or wherever you would like to meet, maybe back on the Montero. Like sort of just call everyone to a single area to discuss recent events, because we've all separately had a bunch of crazy shit happen, and we all think we're the only person to have crazy shit happen.
Well, I mean, let's do what they do in all these kind of cliche movies. Not the bridge. No, not somewhere where something can get done.
The mess hall.
Let's meet up in the mess hall.
That's right. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, let's meet up over coffee. Montero or Cronus?
Cronus, because as I've said many a time, them fuckers ain't coming on my ship.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
No, I like that.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have even come onto the ship, but I don't know if we would have beat Space Grandma if
that's true.
I
Yeah,
didn't come.
We did need the Chad. All right. So my question is, does Leah Davis show up? Do you hear the call to the mess hall?
I hear the call to the mess hall. Am I at the pilot?
Yes. Yeah, you're at the bridge.
Hey.
I grab the radio and just say, "There's a ship coming in." Was it Polo?
Oh, Sotillo.
Sotillo. And I'm just saying this really quickly, so very confusing. I'm making evasive maneuvers. Evasive maneuvers. I'm just repeating evasive maneuvers.
Oh, okay.
What was that?
I was just gonna say before like we got over there, Rye was basically saying to Jones like he's not gonna burst into one of those things too, is he? Talking about the
Flynn.
Yeah. Asking Jones about it since Jones, knows like medical and science stuff.
I don't know if he would know that. He would have to do tests.
Well, she doesn't know. Like, she's just asking.
That's
Like,
fair.
he could say that he doesn't know, you know?
Yeah, these are pretty. I don't know what you would say here. What's your hypothesis? Think Flynn's okay?
What is your hypotenuse?
No, I don't think he is.
Okay. So Dr. John's probably says he's at least a threat. You know, we should probably lock him up somewhere, or at least keep guns on him, or
Ava 6 on guard duty.
Ava 6 on guard duty. Yeah. I'll say
Well,
you
is
could
she
fashion.
actually go?
Sorry.
Would Ava 6 actually stop one of her original crew?
That's a
That's
good
to stop
question.
the janitor. Like after
It's
the
just
janitor
about
started
watching
right.
if he shows signs of changing, basically. I think at that point she'd probably consider him a threat.
Okay, so let's actually rearrange. You guys can pick where you sit, but I'm gonna have Ava and Flynn are sort of next to the door, or at least most two, because Ava's protecting you guys from him, because you've mentioned you were uncomfortable. Like Ava doesn't consider him a threat, but Kayla Rai would have said, "Oh, can you keep an eye on this guy?" sort of thing, and she was like, "If that, if that makes sense to you, like kind of thing, like if that's what you wish me to do."
I
And
mean, his friend just burst into an alien, so.
that's fair. You've probably fashioned out of just scrap wiring, like shitty handcuffs. You know what I mean? Like you just tied his hands, basically, or his wrists,
Well, I
rather.
mean, handcuffs aren't really going to stop the thing coming out of his face.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so do you not want to handcuff him then?
Probably not. He doesn't seem like a threat otherwise, really.
Okay.
Like, she doesn't trust him, but.
So I'm gonna go be right back. I'm just grabbing a drink, and then we'll do our sort of final chat. Give me 2 minutes.
Final chat before the countdown.
I wonder if we just went back to Mother and were like, shit's fucked, get us out of here, if we could just leave.
Well, we could leave, but we have to get the cargo from borrow ship first.
Mm. Hey, Cham, do you still have that liaison's card?
Yep.
We're gonna need that.
But who knows what the liaison's card will do when we plug it in, because we don't have the password for the liaison's card to undo whatever it does.
No, not that. I mean to get into the liaison suite.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because she was supposed to be in cold storage in her suite, whereas these two popsicles were just in general cryo.
And she has an emergency escape pod in her office, too. That,
Well, presumably that's what Grandma was looking for with the key card.
Hmm.
But that's just, an assumption. Yeah, Nate Raffles has to get back here because, well, I mean, one, evasive maneuvers because this mystery ship that our crack addict sees.
Which you don't know if it's real or not.
That is a question I've asked myself.
And also, like, since we had to bring this ship back into operating status, is their reactor even, like, on enough for their engines to run?
I think that the ship we're on is pretty much inoperable.
Yeah, like, so her coming over here to try and use the Cronus's controls for evasive maneuvers. It's like, but you were already on the Montero, the working ship. What the fuck are you doing here?
Again,
If you did, but if you tried to move either of the ships, we would tear the umbilical off, which would strand us on whatever ship we're on.
I have a plan for that. It's bullshit, but let's see where it goes. Also, you shot me with epinephrine, which I'm going fucking haywire.
Oh, sorry, I had to stretch my back.
Well, we
a
didn't
bit.
stab you. We still have the injector. We never established if we stabbed you or not.
That's true.
It's
Okay.
just you popped up out of your coma of your own accord.
What did I miss? Anything?
So I asked Cham if he still had the liaison's card, so we can go check her suite.
Ah, okay. That'll be next session.
Yeah, that'll be next session. But another thing for the start of next session, can we just hand wave that they kind of explained generally why there's popsicles unfrozen and why one of the popsicles is missing?
Okay, yeah, we discussed this scene that just took place, yeah, because that's fair. That was in our minds.
Okay.
I'm gonna say though at this point, like when we meet up in the mess hall, this is like when the screen like fades to black, and then comes back and it's like Act 2. You know what I mean? So everyone during this mess hall scene can interact with their minor item in some way to reduce a point of stress. And
see.
if we could like describe what we're doing, how we're doing it, you know, so we can sort of just do a little character building, just have a little fun. And I'm going to send you off your agendas. Exact.
I guess I'm just hearing back and forth with the intercoms and.
Okay. Think I have now gotten everyone. If you haven't received one, please let me know. I like that. That's fun. That's fun, Cham. For those that didn't read the chat, Dino said Cham was quietly saying a prayer for Valerie using his rosary. I like that a lot. I really like that scene. That was probably. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be quite proud still of Bard and Zelphus having that completely unscripted dialogue. That was really good and super cool as a DM. But there's something very cinematic to me. Maybe the way I just saw it in my head, like Cham and Valerie. I enjoyed that quite a bit. It's up there.
Martin Miller, the pulse rifle isn't your special item.
Ixuriu. Hey, Miller, do you want to try and reduce a little stress there?
Well, I mean, Miller's stressed out that we have an alien in the room with us.
That's reasonable. Oh yeah, you had your jacket. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Although that probably means less and less to you these days. But it's probably kind of like the stripes. Like, you know what I mean? The steps I took to get here. Captain of my own ship.
How do you get it to type like that?
/EM is for
Emote.
emotion, or emotes, and then /me does the other crap. I don't really know if there's
/EM?
that much of a. I don't know if there's that much of a difference between /EM and /me, honestly.
Why is she twitching? No,
I'm just
God.
joking. I'm just joking. No, you killed her good.
And then if you're talking as your character, down at the bottom you can select either your name or your character's name. If you have your character selected, then when you talk, it's like that. If you want to use your actual name, then you can do /OOC for out of character crap.
Hey, I said unpause.
And then you get that.
You can also just select the one at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you have the one selected at the bottom and you don't feel like deselecting it every time, you can stay selected as your character and just do /OOC.
So, just because it was the most recent scene, and it doesn't really make sense, we're just gonna hand wave that Fox explains to everyone, okay, look, these two assholes came down the bridge. This is the situation. Is there anything you want Kayla Rye to say? Like a way she would have told everyone?
Hmm.
I do love that also, yeah, with your photo.
I'm not sure. I know she doesn't weirdly seem phased by it since she wasn't panicking.
Yeah, I mean that's that's what Rye is quite good at, not panicking. Because I believe your ability is like once per game. You can just say, "Nah, I'm not panicking today." Sure, we'll be very clutch at some point.
Well, I think it was kind of clutch now, considering everyone else just kind of sat there or screamed.
That's true. Yeah.
Except for Ava, but I'm not sure, but I know she would try to explain some of the stuff that is his name Flynn?
Yeah.
That Flynn was saying. But like it seems kind of off to her, but she doesn't really know exactly what it would mean. You know, like maybe they could dissect it better.
So
Is he included in the conversation, or is he just off in the corner?
Well, that's a good question. Is he in the room while you guys are all discussing?
Well, we're not letting him out of our fucking sights.
That makes
so-
sense. Yeah, he's in the room.
But like he could be in the corner of the room, and they could be like off in their own spot talking. Do you know what I mean? Like, is he listening in, or is he excluded from the conversation?
That's up to you guys. I'm not sure there's necessarily a reason to or not to exclude him. It's just based entirely on, is there information that we would be revealing that we wouldn't want someone else to know?
I guess it's technically probably up to the captain. Like if she told him not to be involved or not.
I mean, the captain was serious though. Like before the fade to black, I wanted to march his ass back over to medical. Corpse be damned, he's getting X-rayed.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. So, we've dealt with Rye and her situation. Let's go back, I suppose, a little further. Rudy, what's Dr. John's talking about? Is he describing? It's okay if you don't feel comfortable, like just talking about stuff. You could just hand wave it. But let us know at least how much he's revealing of his studies and his discovery of the science lab.
Oh, that's easy. All of it.
Just laying it on the table. I think that's fair.
Yep.
Okay. So, borrowed. I always appreciate, and never let me make you feel like I don't. But he takes notes, usually quite a bit during the session. I know Dino does sometimes as well. But borrowed often notates some key lines he finds key while we're discussing. If you could
I try and have a bit of a synopsis, but not like a full copy paste.
If you could drop, I think because there was a few things that right now, since we're discussing everything and we're putting a lot of stuff on the table and we're sort of solving a mystery, if you could dump that in the Discord, either the text file or whatever, but maybe a few key lines that you think might be worth discussing, and then maybe over the next week while we get our next session, we can at least sort of mull over a few things.
I mean, I can just snip the bit about the labs and just dump that in.
Yeah, that's chill. Cool. All right, so we got Rudy's thing resolved, and now Miller, anything you want to add about your little off adventures? Maybe that where is Leah? I'm sure somebody asked.
Oh, I would ask.
That's fair. You would have asked. And I'm sure maybe
The last place we saw the crack addict was slipping out of the medical bay, and the last thing we heard was the pitter patter of feet running in the distance.
Oh, okay, I love that. Yeah, so Wilson's like, has anyone seen Leah? She was with us and then took off, and he explains the medbay thing. And Fox's character would probably step in and say,
Yeah, she came asking about where the pilot crap is, and I was in the middle of fighting an alien, so I'm not gonna answer that shit.
love it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, no, I'm already loving the attitude Rise got.
Exactly. Is Rye now a sassy black woman?
No. She's a sassy, underpaid, like construction or a mechanic. Sorry, that's even worse. All right, love it.
Yeah. Where's my thing? Well, I mean, we can kind of go over the magic that is Special Order 966 with those that weren't on the other ship.
Oh, that's true. This is a good thing to bring up. So you've got everyone sat down. We have Flynn in the corner. Ava's watching him and keeping an eye on the door. We've got Leah, or not Leah, sorry, we got Rye, probably boots up on the table is how I would picture her, with like her flamer just casually pointed over in Flynn's direction.
Naturally.
And the rest of you may be pooling around the table in various ways. Maybe one of you's like leaning up against the wall, arms crossed.
Can
Yeah, you go first, Regan. Sure.
I was gonna say, am I listening through like the radio?
Really, Mike.
I don't know if you would. Like, I don't think the intercom would be on, so you're probably not hearing any of this. But you were part of everything. Actually, you were kind of here for everything except the lab work in some capacity.
I know just a bit.
I would say for Miller, I am undoubtedly stealing this, probably from Ripley.
Please do.
But stand there, like, legs a little bit apart from each other, and with like the pulse rifle, the butt of it on the hip, and like holding the foregrip with the other hand while you're sitting there talking to people.
Oh, okay, yeah, love it.
Like, I'm 90% sure I stole that from Ripley.
Miller's very take charge from right now. I enjoy that.
Question, Borrowed. Did you actually injected me with the epi, or do I just have the epi on my like hip? Just
no, we took the epi off of you because you took everything else. You
yeah, the epi was the only thing they found on you, and they took that.
It hadn't been used yet.
And that's when you woke up. You're just like, someone's stealing my drugs. Bye.
As we established with Granny, just I guess a little nugget of crack made its way to your brain, and you shot up like a fucking rocket. So, yeah, no epi for you.
Okay.
So Miller, do you want to relay to everyone the fun news? Because right now, technically, I think only Wilson knows about Special Order 966, right?
Like, knows. Yeah, knows more details about it than just.
But I don't even think his Cham was still in the belly of the ship. Like, only you and Wilson.
It said on the console in the engine, Order 966.
Right, but you don't know what that entails.
Yeah, so like I know it exists though.
Yeah. So this is the big reveal when you explain to people that Mother tried to kill Yez, or at least blow up that ship.
Still no idea why that changed from the original orders.
Yeah.
Well, I'll step up and admit it anyway. My original orders were from the Weyland-Yutani headquarters. I had received them before we embarked. The Montero was to be redirected en route to investigate the USCSS Coronis, a obviously Weyland-Yutani ship that we've stumbled across here, missing from 73 years ago. Our orders were to ensure the survival of Montero crew, investigate the Cronus, rescue any crew available, secure their research, and in the course of things, remind you that the willful destruction of Weyland-Yutani property and assets is heavily frowned upon and may be a subject for review down the road. After we have secured the Cronus and dropped them off at a Weyland-Yutani research and containment base, we'll then be continuing on our merry way to Sutter's World aboard our Montero.
That being said, the Montero was supposed to blow up on us because of the same Order 966.
Which is not in my original order listing, and I don't know why that happened.
but Ada's friend, sorry Ada, Valerie is very much dead, saw it fit to take the company liaison's card, look over at Flynn, come onto my ship, and set its reactor to overload. If that would have happened, aside from obviously the Montero blowing up, all of the hydrogen on board would have meant that the Cronus blew up too. So I'm not quite sure why this would have been beneficial.
You see Flynn in the corner, like just putting his head in his hands, like this. It's so much to take in. How was Valerie alive after all this time?
Because Valerie was more than likely infected, despite the fact that she would be, what, early 90s, mid 90s? She was able to overpower our. What the hell is it? Like, is the Chad like an official designation?
No, he's
Mac is my job
hard.
description.
Yeah. What's he called? Like a roughneck.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah. So the geriatric was able to overpower our roughneck there and take several rounds to the torso and not really care. So I don't think that your friend Valerie was human.
Yeah, in this universe, aren't the M41A pulse rifle ammo? Aren't they like high explosive? The bullets.
Something like that. Like they're maybe it depends on which model it is,
I was
since
gonna
there's like
say,
6 different
'cause
friggin' models.
I kind of feel like they aren't, but it's
Well, I mean, the aliens like fucking explode when you hit them a lot of the time.
that's true.
Oh yeah, it is. 210 grain steel jacketed and explosive tipped round embedded within a rectangular propellant block of nitramine 50.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's 10 by 24 caseless with high explosive tip.
Damn.
So yeah, she is a fucking tank, pretty much.
Holy fuck, yeah. Oh my god. What a beast.
Yeah, something that was designed specifically for that. Well, let's just quote it. The M309 round is optimized for lethality against infantry wearing personal armor.
Or a
She
spacesuit.
wasn't.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Granny didn't give a fuck.
She gave no fucks. I certainly. Anyway, so Flynn. Well, the 26 Draconis. There were cases of people who were infected that gained superhuman, certainly capabilities, resistance. It's possible in time that could have increased muscle mass or some such. Not all of them turned out that way. I don't quite know if it would be enough to survive without food, with cold. I don't know what she would have been eating. But
Well, seeing as how, other than you popsicles, the rest of the crew is dead, I would say that's at least part of it.
Maybe whatever this virus is able to provide whatever nutrients she needs to stay alive.
it's possible.
Oh my god, my brain just blanked the word. Chlorophyll, plants making sugar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Synthesis?
Yeah,
Photosynthesis. There you go. My brain just I know everything else about it, but the word itself.
I know. Flynn
We're
says,
hitting Metal Gear.
but the rest of the crew weren't alive this whole time. He pauses. No, that's right. During when they started piloting the ship and we went in the stasis, they could have. I suppose they could have fed on each other, some sort of cannibalistic nature.
I was about to say we're hitting Metal Gear territory.
Yeah. nanomachine, son.
Nanomachine, son. But, well, in any case, stopped Mother from blowing up my ship, so we at least hopefully have a way out of here, unless she does other shit.
You did yank her card, right?
I have it on my person right now.
Yeah.
Well, you have the liaison's card. I didn't like actually fully disable Mother. She's like one step away from it, but
You
She's on
mean
thin ice.
Mother's control card, yeah.
yeah. If I see one suspicious piece of binary,
Yeah. That's one too many zeros, fucker.
Is that a 2?
Yeah. That would be some shit.
so we theoretically have a way off of this death pit of a derelict ship. However, as our other company man here points out with his original order, we're supposed to gather samples. I guess you would count as a sample, gesturing at Flynn. What about the liaison? Any idea if she's been woken up out of her popsicle yet?
Either Flynn or Ava, they just kind of shrug, sort of. I guess Ava wouldn't shrug, but Flynn shrugs, and Ava, Rice is like, haven't seen her.
Well, I say that we stick you back in your pod, stick Ava in one for the sake of contamination.
Containment.
Yeah. See about the liaison, and then blow this damn ship up.
Honestly, at this point, do we even give a damn about the company liaison? At this point, she's just as infected as that doctor who had that thing come out of his face. Evidently, that inoculation that they were so pleased about doesn't actually work, and we should get the fuck out of here while the getting's good.
Well, our friend here got inoculated, and his head hasn't blown off yet, so perhaps that was able to be staved off by them being frozen.
But why did the old guy's head blow up, but not this guy?
Did he actually take it? He said he was
Why
against
wouldn't
taking
the
it.
old guy take the inoculation that he himself made?
Oh, no,
Some
the young
people
guy.
are
The guy
over
didn't make it.
stubborn and cantankerous.
The young guy.
The
made
young guy made it. The old
Oh.
guy refused.
Because you said he didn't want to take it. Are you sure he actually took it?
I was under the impression he took it. My bad.
What did you say?
Well, let's just find out there, Flynn. Did he actually take it? Is that why his head exploded? Are you next?
Well, it possibly didn't. Cooper fought me on every step of the way about making it. We worked on it together initially and had no success, and I had found a new process of synthesizing it, and he just went off and he started riling the crew up, and when I came up with the idea to leave the unvaccinated crew behind and go in the stasis, he promised that he would take some. And being a scientist, I supplied him with the vaccine and assumed that was that.
What do you think
So
would
how-
happen if he took less than a full dose?
It's hard to say. Due to the nature of the vaccine, it's possible any number of things could happen. You could have some of the symptoms of gaining the virus. You could potentially become stronger, or maybe some regenerative properties, perhaps. I'm not sure how or what came out of him, but
Well, follow me on this, Doc. Or are you even a... Well, you're a medical doctor. Follow me on this. What if he took a half dose and gave the other half to Valerie? And that's why Valerie still had her faculties when the rest of the crew is very dead.
it's possible. I We found a black mold, a goo of sorts on the planet. These,
You like the one in your laboratory the doc here was talking about? Nah, just
yes.
shouldn't
They were in these urns. These seem to be unrelated to the puffballs, the moat dispensing devices that you've found around the ship.
Yeah, in the air supply.
Yeah, the goo that came from these urns, it seemed to react to the infection in odd ways, and perhaps we hadn't fully tested it yet, but I used some of it in creating the doses, and that's why Cooper fought against them so much. So,
Because you use the black goo or because you use the mold?
well, the black goo and the mold are one and the same. They're different from these tennis balls that you find around, but they the black goo, this we really don't know what it does. We don't know what it is. We didn't have enough data before everything went to shit, as you see. But it worked.
What is the black goo made out of if it got the other doctor all riled up about it?
Well, we don't know. We found it in these metallic urns. Sorry, my memory's not quite what it used to be before I went in or cryosleep. But we found them there. When we got to the planet, there were urns. There may have been a civilization before us. And whatever this goo was, it reacted with the virus, and it seemed to control it, to change it. Similar properties, but we weren't able to really identify it. And that's why he was so upset, because, we tried making a vaccine out of the virus itself and had no luck. And I thought, well, this is probably our only shot to get out of here.
Have you come back into contact with your mold after being inoculated to it?
No, I can't say I have.
Perhaps Cooper has and you haven't, so that's why you're still here.
It could be possible. Perhaps that was some sort of a allergic reaction. I mean, to boil it down to something simple, but
His head blowing up was an allergic reaction.
Is that
Well,
one side effect?
Yeah, I was waiting for further explanation there.
perhaps the inoculation protects you from the virus, but being exposed to further amounts of this black goo, maybe that had some adverse reaction. Maybe that triggered something, or it accelerates something, or I'm not sure. All I know is I feel fine, except for still being weary, and that's fairly normal.
Well, I'd still like to get you checked out because you might feel okay, but I imagine that Cooper felt okay before he went into cryosleep, and that didn't work.
As long as you take me out of here, I'll do anything. I remember having some more vials of vaccine. 4, I think. No one's used them since.
Those are awfully big assumptions.
Bear this in mind as well, Doctor. To be able to safely transport you back to a Weyland-Yutani facility, we will have to restore you to cryosleep.
And that's also assuming the vaccine even survived through the lab, because Albert over there said that both of your labs on this ship are pretty fucked.
Well, I mean, we never went into the science module at the back.
Well, the science module got ripped off, remember?
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
It was missing off the top airlock. Oh yeah, speaking of there, Flynn, do you know what the hell why it's missing?
Oh, when we left the planet, no, I don't know.
Would that be necessary for your inoculation, or can you use these existing labs, assuming there's anything left of them?
If there's anything left, the med lab may even have everything I require. I just need time. 24, maybe hours?
If we have that long. Because, yeah, we still haven't dealt with whatever was in the back of the science lab.
It's as long as we, stick together, or stay out of certain areas of the ship, we should be fine.
And what areas would that be? In particular.
The air scrubber shaft. Dangerous places where there's sure to be lots of these moat propellant organisms. They seem to like where it's damp, dark.
Isn't that the
Like
place that
inside
we
of a
clean?
cryo bay?
The cryo bay, perhaps it is dark, but usually not so much damp. I don't recall seeing someone I woke up, but I was also quite dizzy. It might be worthwhile clearing a few rooms with the torch you have there before we start working on getting the vaccine ready for everyone. If you're all nervous, I won't make any of you take it, but I would feel more comfortable if I had made it before we left, in case of possible side effects.
I mean, at least 2 of us here are probably infected with whatever that powdery shit is.
Yeah, our friend who came up while you were busy in the med lab, her visor's compromised, and the roughneck there took off his helmet for a little bit, so that's at least 2.
Seeing if the air was breathable after I got the fucking air scrubbers back on. That's pretty standard procedure in my book.
I mean, be that as it may, you still probably breathed in space dust farts.
Well, not to tear you apart, but you're crew member here with the flamethrower. She has had her suit breached in the attack.
Okay, we'll mark that up to 3 then. So that's 3 of us that are good and 3 of us that are not. Oh boy.
Unfortunately, I haven't found a way of figuring out whether someone is infected or not. It was much easier to make a cure than to find a way of testing. I could draw
I
blood
mean,
from everyone.
I was about to say, is a blood culture not good enough?
It can be. It has an odd way of hiding. The motes seem to possess a rudimentary intelligence. They seem to learn from each other. I can't
That
explain
also
it,
concurs with what Albert said.
but we started doing blood tests on the people that returned from the planet, and people that turned up positive for it. We locked in one of the rooms, and then people were still infected. It seemed like it learned what we were doing. It avoided the areas that we would draw blood from regularly.
What about a tissue sample? I don't know. Are those any different? Is it harder for it to move through like fat than blood? I'm not a biologist.
I haven't tried, but I could. I could take samples from everyone to announce the results and then get working on a vaccine.
I don't really feel comfortable taking off my suit so you can stab me in the arm with a needle that's been floating around in this ship for a time.
I could
Same.
work on your ship if you prefer, or to keep things on the
Heat.
Cronus for
For the sake of
quarantine.
contamination, we'll
Yes.
stay here.
Maybe I just test the 3 possible cases here. And myself, if it makes you feel more comfortable.
You, at the very least, I would insist upon.
I'm still insisting on that X-ray, but yes, I can.
I will need help to have an X-ray, but or
How
there.
was Ada not designated as a medical assistant?
No.
What?
Dr. Biologist probably knows how to run a fucking X-ray.
Yeah, I would imagine he does.
Do I not have? I swear to fuck, I had that in my list of stuff. Yeah.
Regardless, I'm sure you can walk us through the steps to get the machine running and then slot yourself in there, yes?
Yes, I could at least walk someone through it.
All right. I guess I can handle that.
Speaking of X-rays, Doc, did you try radiation treatment for this virus?
No, we were afraid that damaging any of the cells would cause complications with cryosleep.
Yeah, just hitting somebody with a shitload of X-rays to try to kill something would probably kill them first.
Yet again, though, like, Miller is not a biologist or any of that. Miller's throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Miller has gun.
Miller has gun and is captain. See my shiny badge.
Well, I think we call it here. We've hit Act 2. Things are interesting. We're at a mess hall. And unfortunately, I got to start getting to bed and all that stuff.
Just real quick, is it possible to heal at all?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, so basically, healing happens over a period of like days, kind of thing. Like you could naturally heal like a something like that, but the cinematic adventure idea is that it's short and it's like whatever health you got, but you can always come back to 1 health if you don't like critically fail your death roll or something.
Okay.
So like I mean you have like like 5 life, but you know, you can go to 0 and to 1 again, like a whole bunch of times potentially. Just means everyone can't die in the same scene, or else bad things.
Okay.
But I'll have
Yeah.
backup PCs. I always do, just in case.
And everybody needs
Never a
their
bad
Act 2
idea.
stuff if they don't have it.
Yes. Does everyone have their agenda for Act 2?
Yes.
Believe
Again,
so.
your agenda is a. Sorry, I said no.
I said yeah.
Believe so.
Oh, okay. Again, your agenda is a kind of like a prompt. You know, not forcing you. If you like that idea, cool. If you don't like that idea, cool. Like you do you, but sort of like use it as like guide rails. You know what I mean? Like you can hold them if you want. Do whatever the fuck. But if that sort of helps get the juices flowing, that's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and I think we're good. I think we can call it right here. No last minute questions or anything, right?
Nope.
Sweet.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
no, just stuff to write down for next time.
yeah, we got some cool stuff going. I'm curious to see how you guys want to proceed from here. There's definitely a few options we have, so give me a shout in Discord if anyone. Well, I'll chat with you guys, but like I kind of like knowing what you're all thinking, so that I know what more to prepare for, kind of thing. Either way, yeah. GG's, peace.
Night, Ralph.
Peace.
And I'm going for dinner, so I'll catch you all in a bit.